Let's dive into the aspects. So first I'd like to briefly list them. I'll also cast them on the screen as a list for you. So we have the sun conjunct the moon, aka the new moon sextile Mars and Jupiter, the new moon trine the north node, the new moon sextile the south node, Mars conjunct Jupiter, Mars and Jupiter sextile the north node, Mars and Jupiter trine the south node, Uranus sextile Neptune, Venus square Uranus, Mars and Jupiter square Saturn, Pluto trine Black Moon Lilith and Juno. Juno and Black Moon Lilith are within conjunction territory, although they're in different signs. We have a Yod pattern, finger of God, at critical degrees, with Pluto 0 degrees Aquarius, forming a sextile to Neptune 29 degrees Pisces, forming the base of this isosceles triangle, both of which point at Venus 29 degrees Leo. Those are all critical degrees, so this will be felt very strongly. We have Neptune opposite Black Moon Lilith and Juno, Mars square Mercury. The new moon coincides with a Mercury retrograde through both Virgo and Leo. And we have a grand air trine between Uranus, Juno and Black Moon Lilith, and Pluto, which is part of a larger kite formation involving that opposition between Neptune and the conjunction between Juno and Black Moon Lilith. I won't have time to cover everything in detail, but I will touch on all of the above in the next few sections of the video. We'll begin our exploration of the aspects by diving into Mars and Jupiter in Gemini on fixed star Aldebaran, and a preview of the upcoming Mercury retrograde through Virgo and Leo, which starts under this Leo new moon. The Leo new moon 2024 forms a supportive sextile to Mars and Jupiter in Gemini, which are coming into exact alignment in the weeks following the Leo new moon 2024. This is a time to take physical action and write things down. Beyond this, as somebody with their natal Mars conjunct their natal moon in Gemini can attest, this is so much more than talking about it or writing it down. It's about being about it. Mars is about action, and Gemini is about our thoughts and ideas. Air fuels fire. These two energies work really well together, if you know how to make the most of it. We can do so by not only writing it down, but speaking it into existence, and by practicing what we preach, and by taking the actions and daily habits necessary to turn those ideas and manifest them into reality. This is happening while the new moon forms a trine to its own north node, the north node of fate and destiny, and also while Mars sextiles that same north node. Set your intentions and your ideas under this new moon, and while Mercury is retrograde, and prepare to launch this project or idea once Mercury stations direct at the end of August. This means that the same planets are sextiling the south node of karmic fate and destiny. So we're essentially bridging the gap between the past and the future, right now in the present. Mercury retrograde always brings a return of the past, and this is amplified in the sign of Leo, which is about our passions and romance. And when we consider that the south node of karmic fate and destiny is in Libra, a sign that has everything to do with our interpersonal relationships, including romantic ones. Exes and old flames will absolutely resurface. Old coworkers, bosses, and people who might have doubted or in some way dimmed your light or tried to dim your light in the past may be wasting their precious energy as they allow you to live rent-free in their brains and orbit your socials. Mars in Gemini speeds things up, especially co-present and coming into conjunction with Jupiter. Things are going to speed up and intensify when it comes to the information highway and sharing of information. As you know, I have my Mars and Moon in close conjunction in my natal chart, and I definitely embody this energy. I played pretty much every sport, but when it came time to get serious about which sports I wanted to dedicate my time to in high school, I selected water polo, swimming, and for fun, lacrosse. With swimming, I excelled as a sprint freestyler and butterflyer. Sprint freestyle and butterfly require an all or nothing, give it all you've got approach. And I often joke that I have two modes, on or off. Mars is advancing on Jupiter as they come into conjunction under this Leo new moon. Their conjunction exacts on August 14th, 16 degrees Gemini, where we have Jupiter expanding the energy. Mars energizes it and delivers karma by separation, accident, illness, or injury. In the sign of Gemini, there's a lot of hot air, especially when it comes to communication and information sharing. The involvement of Jupiter can bring a crusading as we quest for truth and information. Mars is on top of fixed star Aldebaran, which is located 9 degrees Gemini exactly. Jupiter is also directly on top of fixed star Cursa, located 15 degrees Gemini. Jupiter on Cursa could indicate events related to rivers and streams. Its energy is said to bestow fortune, riches, creativity, idealism, impulsiveness, wantonness, scandals, indiscretion, and destructiveness. Watch out for a self-seeking nature.
and a large degree of unreliability.
This is where I have my natal moon, in exact conjunction to Aldebaran, 9 degrees Gemini, in a supportive sextile to my Jupiter, 9 degrees Leo. Mars is nearby within a 4-degree orb conjunction to that natal moon, further activating and energizing that energy. That conjunction of Mars-Moon means many things, and it's tremendously beneficial, but it gives me the traits of an Aries moon. Anyone who has Aldebaran aspected in their charts knows how deeply powerful this can be. To read this excerpt directly from Astrology King about fixed star Aldebaran. Aldebaran is a pale rose star marking the bull's south or left eye. It's found in the constellation of Taurus.
Interesting that Aldebaran is associated with the left eye, and prior to having LASIK eye surgery after college, I was legally blind in my dominant left eye.
Its name is from Aldebaran, 2 separate words, the follower. It formed one of the 4 royal stars, or watchers of the heavens, among the Persians, from about 3000 BC, when, as the Watchers of the East, it marked the vernal, or spring equinox. The other 4 stars being Regulus, Antares, and Fomalhaut. According to Ptolemy, Aldebaran is of the nature of Mars, or Mars and Jupiter combined, which is exactly what we have under this Leo new moon. It gives honor, intelligence, eloquence, steadfastness, integrity, magnetizing popularity, courage, ferocity, and a responsible position or public honors. It can gain wealth or power through other people, but there can also be a danger of violence or sickness. Follow the energy trail. We see that Mars and Jupiter, in the sign of Gemini, both answer to Gemini's ruling planet, Mercury, which is in Virgo and has been in Virgo since July 25th, just before the last quarter moon, halfway between the last full moon, 29 degrees Capricorn, and this new moon in Leo. Mercury rules the fraternal twins, Gemini and Virgo, so Mercury is strengthened in one of its signs of rulership. Additionally, Mercury is stationed here, 4 degrees Virgo, increasing its strength. 4 degrees Virgo is where Mercury will station retrograde, ignited under this new moon in Leo, which will bring explosive information and revelations, especially regarding health, and especially when we consider that Mercury is square or coming out of a square to Mars. This means that Mars and Jupiter, as they come into alignment, are loosely square their depositor Mercury, further intensifying the energy. Although we had a Mercury retrograde through Virgo last year, from August 23rd to September 14th, 2023, this one will be different because Mercury will retrograde from 4 degrees Virgo all the way back to 21 degrees Leo. Anytime Mercury retrograde changes signs, it indicates a major change of heart or direction, especially in the sign of Leo, ruling over the heart chakra and the solar plexus. This will be a rewind to not only Mercury retrograde through Virgo of 2023, which I'll link as an end card and in the description box below for those of you watching on YouTube, and a return to Venus retrograde through Leo summer 2023. For those of you listening to the podcast version on Spotify, you're invited to come on over and join the conversation here in the comments section on YouTube. In that Mercury retrograde, new moon in Virgo combined video from September 11th, 2023, I discussed the growing border crisis, which has since become a massive problem, not only in the United States where I reside, but in essentially every democratic country across the globe. At that time, back in September 2023, I also had predicted there could be a return to mask mandates coming in the future. And although I didn't have the timing right back then, timing is really hard to predict with astrology, that timing may very well be fast approaching late August and September of 2024. Mars and Jupiter in Gemini will feel fast and overwhelming, so ground down as much as possible. Watch out for verbal tit-for-tats that feed the polarity between the egoic battle of I'm right, you're wrong. Try your best to remain detached, focused on the big picture. Embody the divine neutrality and detachment of Pluto and Aquarius. It'll be necessary the next 20 years. Be especially careful with what you say and write, and especially what you post to social media, especially in a time of such heavy censorship. Mars is in a very tight inconjunct quincunx, a challenging 150-degree angle that's almost but not quite in opposition to Ceres, 8 degrees Capricorn, asteroid of mothering and nurturing, related to grains and agriculture. We may see new initiatives unfold under this Leo new moon and in the next 6 months related to these areas, but especially agriculture and farming, along with a collective need to grow. Positive side of Mercury in Virgo with the Sun in Leo is a keen ability to translate what we envision in our mind's eye into our creations. It's highly artistic. The discernment and work ethic of Virgo, coupled with the creativity and boldness of Leo, is the perfect combination to turn vision into reality through our creations. Mercury stationing retrograde in Virgo under this Leo new moon suggests that the best approach moving forward as we embrace a fresh start or new beginning is to reflect on the past and take forward with us, like the old man on his rocking chair, the wisdom we've gleaned from our personal histories and past experiences. Success is not always linear. For every 100 subscribers this channel gains, a couple fall off. And that's okay. I am eternally grateful to each and every one of you, regardless, for however long you stick around, regardless of how long you do so. It's an honor to share my gifts and talents in translating the energy of the cosmos with you, and I'm blessed simply for the opportunity to be here. The combined energies of Gemini, Leo, and Mercury retrograde suggest that it's an excellent time to pick up an old creative passion, hobby, outlet, or project that you've since disconnected from. Find a way to integrate it into your busy schedule again, in a way that provides a source of fun and greater overall balance. A couple years back, I treated myself to a guitar because a musician friend, knowing about my personal singing journey and my severe stage fright, suggested it would be helpful not only to tune my voice to, but to potentially hide behind should I ever find the courage to perform alongside him on stage. At the time, I couldn't practice while anyone was home, and I wouldn't even allow myself to listen to my own voice. Crippling self-doubt and self-criticism, 12th house Virgo. But how can you possibly improve if you won't even have the courage to listen to yourself? That was 3 years ago. Last year, I bought myself a very cheap portable Bluetooth karaoke mic that, while convenient, wasn't loud enough for anyone to actually hear me. This year, I treated myself to a karaoke set with an amplifier to help me practice, and to also have karaoke parties with fellow singing enthusiasts. It's about progress, you see, not perfection. I can see that little girl, that little Leo, who used to sing everywhere she went before her world completely fell apart in 1998. Every time I look in the mirror, and she's beaming back at me with pride and adoration. Mercury, the ruler of Virgo and Gemini, will return to Leo on August 14th, the same day that Mars and Jupiter align 16 degrees Gemini, bringing an opportunity to reconnect with our hearts and what we are most passionate about and what we desire most. Triggers and past memories may resurface, reminding us of where our self-confidence was dimmed or where we allowed others to disempower us or dim our light. Reflecting on these hurts is an opportunity to bring them into the light of consciousness for healing, especially as we embrace a fresh opportunity that's more aligned with authenticity and heart-centered living. For example, I am a Libra rising, so this new moon happens on the exact cusp of my 10th and 11th houses. The 10th house is the area of the chart representing one's public reputation and career, and the 11th house has everything to do with our friends, our circles, our networks, and our overall legacy that we leave in the world. It aligns perfectly as I prepare to embrace a new full-time employment opportunity that is not only fun, but that fully integrates all of my abilities and talents and allows me to heal others not only spiritually and emotionally as we do on this channel, but from a whole body perspective, as it will heavily involve my personal training and soon-to-be nutrition certification. Thank you for watching. If you're still with me, you're a real one. Drop your current most used emoji in the comments. If you took anything away from this video, we ask that you like, comment, share the content, and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, we know that you'll enjoy the full playlist and this additional video. Thank you so much, love you, and see you soon.